This is Plant-Based Briefing. One industry's waste can be the alternative protein industry's want, by Amanda Bess at the Good Food Institute at gfi.org. And I'm Marian Erickson. This is the curated content plant-based podcast where I narrate articles on plant-based and vegan living in about 10 minutes or less every weekday with permission. And I'm pleased to have permission from the Good Food Institute to share their content. So now let's get to today's Plant-Based Briefing. One industry's waste can be the alternative protein industry's want, by Amanda Bess at gfi.org. How we can combat food waste and loss with alternative proteins. In the United States, we waste the equivalent of 145 billion meals every year. That means nearly 40% of all food goes unsold or uneaten. These statistics are difficult to reconcile with the sheer number of people who experience food insecurity in this country, 44.2 million in 2022, according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture. In higher-income countries like the U.S., around 39% of food loss and waste happens during manufacturing, in large part because food processing creates several edible byproducts that are landfilled, composted, or used for animal feed. This is where alternative proteins, meat made from plants, cultivated from animal cells, or produced by fermentation, provide a key solution. The alternative protein industry has the potential to reduce food loss, turning byproducts into nutritious food to sustainably feed our growing population. In some cases, it already is, but more research and investment are needed if the industry is to realize its full potential. Building a more circular economy with less waste. Food loss and waste, FLW, is food produced for human consumption that leaves the human food supply chain for any reason. Food loss is considered loss of edible food from the supply chain during farming and manufacturing, while food waste refers to loss within retail, food service, and households. Food loss and waste is a pricey problem for both our economy and the climate. We lose roughly $437 billion, or 1.8% of U.S. GDP, alongside our wasted food. It also produces annual greenhouse gas emissions equivalent to 30% of U.S. passenger vehicles, not to mention the waste of finite resources like water, land, and energy that were used to produce that food. In 2024, the White House released the National Strategy for Reducing Food Loss and Waste and Recycling Organics to enable a more circular economy, reduce greenhouse gas emissions, save households and businesses money, and build cleaner, healthier communities. One key element of that strategy is the collaboration between the U.S. government and industry, like the alternative protein industry, to repurpose raw and waste materials to their highest value. To build a more circular economy for all, EPA, USDA, and FDA seek to highlight opportunities to use raw materials more efficiently, recover valuable resources from discarded materials, enable those resources to be used for their highest value, and to help regenerate soils. Upcycling food is one of the most effective ways to combat food waste because it keeps edible materials in the human food supply chain, limiting the waste of food and the resources used to produce it. Alternative proteins offer an incredible opportunity to turn waste byproducts into high-value food for people. By upcycling agricultural and food processing byproducts, alternative protein production can be embedded into circular economies that produce food more efficiently, affordably, and sustainably. This not only cuts waste, but results in more plant-based product choices for consumers, a win-win-win for our stomachs, wallets, and environment. Keeping more food in the human supply with alternative proteins. The good news is many plant-based meat companies are already upcycling some of the processing byproducts of high-volume production crops like wheat, peas, and soybeans. Many of the top 10 plant-based meat retail brands use soy protein, pea protein, or wheat gluten as the primary protein ingredient in their products. Soy, pea, and wheat are grown in large amounts, and using their protein-rich byproducts for plant-based meat means more food stays in the human food supply. View the top 10 plant-based meat retail brands and their protein sources linked here. This is just the beginning of the potential of alternative proteins to turn food loss and waste into human food. The key to harnessing this potential is by connecting ingredient manufacturers and agricultural product companies equipped with access and expertise to identify and tap into the variety of crop byproducts with high potential for upcycling. However, with strong supply chains and marketplaces, it is easier to determine which side streams are most promising. That is why we took a closer look. The Good Food Institute's Cultivating Alternative Proteins from Commodity Crop Side Streams analysis identifies several high-volume crop byproducts produced in North America that are well-positioned to become inputs for alternative protein production. The analysis unveiled two key insights. One, the altprotein opportunity to upcycle byproducts is growing. In 2030, side streams from corn production alone could exceed 500 million metric tons per year, with significant additional side stream volume from soy, wheat, sugarcane, barley, rice, canola, and tomatoes. This presents an incredible opportunity to upcycle materials that would otherwise go to landfill or animal feed. View the chart below titled Historical Crop Product and Forested Crop Volumes to 2030. And 2, multiple crop byproducts are well positioned as inputs to alternative proteins. Just like the conventional meat industry uses almost all parts of the animal, the alternative protein industry can do the same, facilitating a food system that utilizes every part of the plant or biomass source. The protein fractions found in these crops are well suited for use in plant-based meat and as a source of amino acids and small peptides for the cell culture media used to produce cultivated meat. The remaining sugar, cellulose, and starch fractions can be used as feedstock for microbial fermentation. If you want to deep dive into upcycling crop side streams for alternative protein production, check out our report linked here. Prioritizing alternative proteins as a food loss solution. To take advantage of this upcycling opportunity, research and development are required to understand and improve byproduct functionality and conversion into alternative protein inputs. Additionally, public and private investment is required to increase the volume of production and consumption of plant-based meat. This need was recently highlighted in the groundbreaking Bold Goals for U.S. Biotechnology and Biomanufacturing report, linked here, released in March 2023 by the Biden-Harris administration, which compiles recommendations from 5 key executive agencies and outlines a strategic vision for the American bioeconomy. Both the U.S. Departments of Agriculture and Energy highlighted alternative proteins as crucial elements in the future of biotechnology and proposed measures to support research and development, commercialization, scale-up, and public-private partnerships. This vote of support is huge. Now we must maintain momentum to help the alternative protein industry turn today's waste into high-value, nutritious food to sustainably feed our growing population. You just listened to One Industry's Waste Can Be the Alternative Protein Industry's Want by Amanda Bess at the Good Food Institute at gfi.org. And I'm your host, Marian Erickson. Wow, this is fascinating. We already know the benefits of alternative proteins for health and nutrition. They're already healthier than animal flesh meat, and they can be made even healthier. More nutrients can be added while not compromising taste. Check out episode 379, The Significant Unalloyed Goodness of Replacing Animal Agriculture, for information on that. And there are so many other benefits also mentioned in that same episode 379. But being able to make use of these byproducts, that's another great one too. If you're interested in other episodes about food waste, you can check out 754, Plant-Based Diets Radically Reduce Food Waste, 245, Food Waste, a valuable channel to help animals and the environment, and 171, Technical Outrage, Innovation to Reduce Animal Use. I'll link all of those in the show notes. And tune in tomorrow for an article about plant protein isolates like soy protein isolate and pea protein isolate that are used in plant-based meats and whether they're healthy or harmful. And please share this episode with anyone who might benefit, and thanks for listening.